Good morning, guys. Our topic is about strategies for assessing language subskills. We have skills and some subskills in learning English. For example, we have four skills: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And we have subskills for learning these four skills. They are pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. And what are these skills and why we need these sub skills? They are our main components of language learning. For example, without grammar and vocabulary and pronunciation, we cannot learn whole language, and we cannot say I have learned English language. Yes, because if we learn these three sub skills clearly and well, and we can say that yes, I have learned English language. And you can improve, of course, your skills, so your four skills, as I mentioned: listening, speaking, writing, and speaking. And what assessing these language sub skills is crucial for teachers and, for of course, for our pupils. And there are some ways and some specific methods to assess this kind of sub skills. For example, the first of all, let's talk about importance of assessing language sub skills. It can promote deeper understanding and mastery of the language. And of course, we can identify our pupils' strengths and weaknesses, and it can help learners focus on specific area where to improve, where we should improve. And assessing vocabulary. Let's talk about assessing vocabulary. Vocabulary, it's our building of our words, because when we speak, when we write, when we understand something by listening them, we should have some sort of vocabulary, some base of vocabulary. And we have some ways to assess vocabulary. For example, we can use as a teacher and to assess young learners vocabulary quizzes and tests. Quizzes and tests. It can be regular. For example, quiz can consist of some questions, short questions, according to your vocabulary theme. For example, you can teach one particular theme for vocabulary, for example, clothes. You can create one quiz in order to check their understanding or their learning, whether they have learned this vocabulary or not. Okay, the next type is vocabulary journals. Vocabulary journals. What does it mean? It means you can keep vocabulary journal for your class. And for example, when you teach at school or at college, you have one particular class, you have one grade class, yes, and you teach them English language throughout the one whole term or whole academic year. And every lesson you can keep one journal or you can keep one box, and you should give responsibility to one student to keep this journal in one lesson, and this pupil should write the new vocabulary which they have learned during the lesson. And in another lesson you will give these journals or box to another pupil, and this pupil also keep writing the new vocabulary which you teach during the lesson. And the next one is vocabulary games. Vocabulary games. And of course, you know what's the game. You can create, you can plan game for your lesson. For example, hot seat game maybe, or another type of game. And the next one is oral assessment. What does it mean? Oral assessment uh, means when your people speak about something, you can assess their vocabulary, yes. And of course, while they are speaking, they can use some new vocabulary or some vocabulary which you teach them. And the next one is technology assessment. As you know, in our modern era, we have some websites to assess our students' vocabulary. For example, this kind of websites, online websites, have some online games according what related to one topic, and when you teach one kind of vocabulary and words, I mean, you can find some, you can search on the internet this kind of games or this kind of websites and use this kind of assessment. Then the last one is peer assessment. As I mentioned before, they can assess their peers. For example, you can give one speaking task in a pair and give one student to assess their peers speaking, and while they are speaking, these students can assess their vocabulary also, and it can help them to think what freely, because speaking in front of the teacher is somehow difficult than speaking in front of their classmates maybe. Okay, our next subskills is grammar. Grammar subskills is crucial one, as you know, because it contributes to our overall language proficiency, and it's important to assess our people's grammar. And we have also some ways to assess grammar. For example, we have two methods. For the first one is direct methods, and the next one is indirect methods. First of all, let's talk about direct methods. Direct methods is assessing grammar directly. For example, we can give one task in order to directly assess the grammar. For example, it can be grammar tests maybe, yes? And it can be a grammar quiz maybe. It's related to only one grammar rules. In that case, it will be direct methods to assess our pupils' grammar subskills. And the next one, as I mentioned, is indirect methods. It's it's understandable from the name, because it is assessing uh, grammar indirectly with via some non-related to grammar tasks. For example, tasks which is non-related to the grammar. For example, you can give role play maybe, or discussion maybe, or you can give some oral speaking maybe, and you can assess, of course, in this type of tasks your pupils' grammar subskills, because when they present something, they should speak, yes, and when they speak, they use grammar rules, and they can check, you can check as a teacher your pupils' grammar, whether they use these grammar rules correctly or not, via this kind of tasks. It's not direct methods to assess grammar. It's indirect methods to assess grammar. Another example is role play. When you teach some grammatic rules, you can give some role plays, some situations to role play, playing roles. And as they playing one roles, they can use grammar rules. They can one they can make sentence, and you can check whether it's correct or not. And the next one, our next soft skills, as I mentioned, is pronunciation. Let's talk about, first of all, what's the pronunciation itself. Pronunciation is our way of speaking. It's our way of pronouncing the word fluently and accurately. Yes, and when we assess their pronunciation, we should pay attention to their fluency, of course. Our pupils' fluency. And we have some methods, of course, to assess this pronunciation. For example, you can use technology, and for example, you can uh, uh, assess their pronunciation with technology. For example, we have some online websites to assess our pupils' pronunciation, whether it's correct or not. For example, they when they are speaking, you can turn on this kind of websites, this kind of tool, technological tool, and while they are speaking, this technology can assess for you their pronunciation. In that case, you can use this kind of technology based assessments. And the next one is model. Giving some model. You can use some videos, for example, native speakers videos, and you can use this person as a model of fluently pronouncing. They can imitate for this person, and they can practice their pronunciation, and after it you can assess their pronunciation subskill. And the next one is visual aids. You can use some pictures pictures for sounds. For example, we have 44 sounds in our English, and we have for example, we have pictures of lips position. Yes, and you can use this kind of pictures in order to teach pronunciation, and also in order to assess their pronunciation soft skills, whether they articulate their lips correctly or not. Okay, the next one is authentic listening. As I mentioned, you can give some videos or podcasts, maybe interviews, maybe, of course, when you use this kind of videos, they can shadowing them, they can them, they can imitate and learn pronunciation, correct pronunciation, and after that they can imitate this person, and you can check their pronunciation sub skill. And the last one is recording their voice. When they are speaking, you can record their voice and keep this record, and after they finishing their speaking, you can and give this recording to themselves, and they can assess themselves uh, by themselves, and it will be self-assessment. And by listening their voice, their speaking, they can correct their mistakes, and they can identify their weaknesses, where they made a mistake, and where they pronounce uh, they don't pronounce fluently. And that's all for our soft skills, assessing soft skills. And conclusion, and I have some conclusion and recommendation. And it's in conclusion, it is really crucial to assess our soft skills, not only our four skills. Of course, we should pay attention our pupils' soft skills, because they are main components our language proficiency, and they can contribute very effectively to our language performance. And recommendations, as I mentioned, you should use variety of assessment, not only one type of assessments. For example, when you assess grammar soft skills, you should use variety of assessment, not only direct assessment. You should combine the indirect and direct methods, and another type of assessment you can create by your own and on your own. And what you can use some performance based tasks for because we have some traditional ways of assessment, of course, but it can seem for our pupils boring, and they can get bored easily. And when they are perform something, they can when they create something on their own, it will be interesting for them. And it's the end of our lesson. Thank you very much.